A crew of NASA astronauts is 1 month into a 6-month mission on the International Space Station. NASA SpaceX 5 launched October 5th, and on board was the first ever Native American woman to travel to space. Nicole Mann is crew commander of the SpaceX 5 mission, and she caught up with New Mexico in Focus correspondent Antonia Gonzalez before she took off.
How excited are you about this? This is going to be your first time, right?
This will be my first time to space. Yes, I joined NASA back in 2013, and so I've been training ever since. We've been training specifically for this mission for the past year, and we are ready to go, ready to launch.
And what is your role going to be?
So I'm the commander of the spacecraft. So I will fly myself and 3 other crewmates. We will launch from Kennedy Space Center in a Dragon spacecraft, which is built by SpaceX. And we will take a day or so to get to the International Space Station, and we'll stay on board for about 6 months to execute our mission. Our spacecraft will stay attached that entire time. Then at the end of the mission, we'll come back home and we'll splash down off the coast of Florida.
And what are some of the key parts of the mission? Is there something that is going to be studied or looked at, or what's going to happen during the 6 months?
During the 6 months on board, we have about 250 scientific experiments that we will be able to partake in and execute for the principal investigator on the ground. And some of those are technology demonstration to help us in further human exploration. A lot of them are scientific investigations and research to benefit humans back on Earth, though. So because the space station is in microgravity, there's a lot of things that we can do that you simply can't do on Earth. So one of my favorite that I'm excited to participate in is this biofabrication facility. And we're actually growing human cells on the space station. So they've already grown a partial meniscus and some heart cells. And this 3D printing of cells is difficult to do on Earth because of the gravity. But in space, they're discovering that they can create better, stronger, more intact cells. And so hopefully I'll be a part of that effort.
And as a Native person, we know that there are some Native people who have chosen and have worked for NASA before in the past. So what does that mean to you?
To me, it's really important. I think your background and your heritage is an important part of who you are and your family and the community that brought you up. And so I think it's important also then to share with our communities what the amazing things that all of the people that we grew up with are executing and what they're doing. And so hopefully there's some young Native kids that are looking and see what amazing things, what amazing opportunities that they have in front of them. And I mean, a lot of those barriers that used to exist are really being broken down. And so I think that's some good messaging that we really want to communicate specifically to the younger generation.
And especially when it comes to getting girls and women involved, and there are programs across the country and in Indian country that encourage young girls to get interested in STEM. Why is that so important?
I think that's important because I think there's many young girls that grow up not realizing that these are options for them. You know, for example, growing up in Northern California, I was interested in math and science, and I thought, it'd be really cool to go to space one day. But the thought of being an astronaut, honestly, never crossed my mind because I never saw anybody that was from, my background or my area that had done something like that. And so I think really just communicating those opportunities. And then if people are interested, then we need to help them. We need to have a program. We need to have teachers and mentors that are there to kind of shepherd them along the way. It's important to have that support.
And so when you get home after the mission and, looking forward to being up there for 6 months, what are you going to do when you get back? And what can we see in the future from you?
So when I get back, I think I'll be excited just to be outside and feel the wind on my face and the sun. That will be something I will definitely miss. There'll be a period of time to rehabilitate back to 1G. It can be a little tough on your body, so I'll do that. And then I'll look on to the next mission. I'll be able to support current missions on the International Space Station. We will have flown, hopefully, Artemis 1 back to the moon by then. And so we'll be looking at future opportunities, whether that be in low Earth orbit or maybe something on the moon. I think there's a lot of opportunities out there. And so I'm looking forward to all of those.
And where can people follow? Where can they watch? And especially, I'm sure, people tuning in from across Indian country are going to want to follow you on this mission.
Absolutely. I think nasa.gov is the easiest way to follow. NASA's also on Facebook and Insta and TikTok. And so for the young social media crowd, there's a lot of ways to reach out and engage with the space program and all the really cool things that we're doing in space. And hopefully we'll have some young engineers or astronauts out there that will help us in the future.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Nicole Mann. Good luck and best wishes to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.